You got to hear this rant. You got to. I mean, just listen to the display of logic not being applied.
The pertinent data required to evaluate because our administration has failed to provide it to this board. And I can prove that in front of everybody, or we can just recognize that you guys don't have the information to make this educated decision, and I think it would be wrong to move forward without that information. And this is no hurry. Like she said, this is just an exploratory, but it looks like you're shoving something through, and you got a lot of other problems to deal with.
My comment to that, Mr. Bradley, would be yes, it's just simply to see if we can. It doesn't mean we're going to. What those bonds are at this point has nothing to do with whether we want to see if we can refinance them or not. So I understand your wanting everything all the time to look at it first, but quite honestly, sir, the reason we hire professionals is because many of the things, and it's evident by what I hear you say, you're supposed to be a businessman. You argue about closing procedures, you argue about closing years, now you're arguing about we can't make a decision if we want to finance until we see the old bonds. And that to me is totally ridiculous.
Yet in those old bonds might have the interest rate that you're currently paying. That old bond might tell you what the cost of that old bond was to recast one. What do you think you're paying PFM to do this exploration, or do you think they're doing it for free? And the same argument you guys have made over, I don't know, let's say saving money with an elementary center. Well, we're just going to move forward a little bit and see how it goes. We're just going to move forward a little bit. We're just going to, and I'm worried that that's what's creeping up here, and you're going down a path where you do trust your administrators, where you do trust your professionals that are profiting from the process way too much, Rita. You should be a little more cynical and a lot less hypocritical. Thank you.
Now, before we go on, take a look at this motion. It's to approve the 2020 Financing Project Resolution authorizing and directing the issuance of general obligation bonds, new borrowing. As if borrowing is free. But let's just listen to it a little further.
It is the transparency that allows the public to help you make these decisions. And I bet there's a lot of people in this public that knows how to read a bond, like myself, that offer to help Dave Kraus prior to them buying these bonds. Some of them are horrible, that you have an issue. I mean, I bet no one on this board can tell me how much it costs to go down this path. What money you're spending by authorizing and directing the issuance of General Obligation Bond Series 2020.
Why don't you tell us what that is?
Because you can't, ma'am. It wasn't provided to the board.
Then how do you know there are any?
There is. You think they're doing it for free? Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
Point of order, Mr. Stern. Point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bradley, for your comment.
Please
refrain from your pronouns.
You're telling me you've never watched, hold on.
Thank you.
You've never watched How I Met Your Mother? Come on.
They don't even understand the humor in the situation where you want to buy a whole bunch of new bonds, some of them at zero interest, refinancing that at a higher interest rate. Gullible. On a How I Met Your Mother TV show, they used to have this lady by the name of Honey that they don't even remember her name, so they just called her Honey because she was just so gullible, and every time she opened up her mouth, you would just hear another, "Oh, honey," as if they had no clue as to what they're doing. And therefore, we suggest the recall of Rita Spinelli. All right, have another great day. We'll see if we got another one here on this meeting. This is very evident.